Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's your old pal Mr. Butter coming back at you. Today I want to get into a pair of kicks that I've really been looking forward to. I've heard a lot of people saying that they've got no interest in these. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. If you're into kicks and you feel like hanging out, then hit that subscribe button. Let's take a look at these Craft 4s in the olive colorway. I gotta admit, I'm still surprised whenever I see shoes that I like so much that are sitting. Like I said in the intro, that is not a bad thing at all, and I'm not complaining. It wasn't long ago that getting a 4 was pretty difficult. I still see these sitting on sneakers. They're still sitting on the Finish Line website. They had multiple extra pairs in my store, and I'd imagine that these will be easy to get for a little while, and that is a really nice change of pace because the 4s have remained one of those silhouettes that have been really hard to get. They've just always been in high demand. I really like this pair. A lot of people are hating on the colorway and just how it's a craft and not just your standard Jordan 4, but we'll get into all that. Like always, we'll start with the Bucks. It's a nice olive green colorway. It's got all these little speckles on here. It's like that cement or that paint splatter print, and that's kind of in a glossy finish while the rest of the box has a flat finish to it. And then we've got that classic Flight font going across there, and we've got a light yellow Jumpman. I think it's a nice looking box, and like always, I love it whenever it matches the shoe. The tag reads Air Jordan 4 Retro SE Craft. The colors are medium olive and pale vanilla. I got a size 10.5 like I always do in Jordan 4s. If I go true to size, then they rub the outside of my feet, so I always go a half size up on the 4 silhouette. And then enough talking about the Bucks. Look at these. I think they are so nice looking. It's not your standard Jordan 4. I love all the different textures that we have on here. I had actually seen these in hand prior to me buying them. And like I said, I was really excited about these dropping. I really wasn't expecting them to sit like they are. But again, that's a wonderful thing, and it's nice that not every shoe is selling out immediately, and I love that people are able to cop dope shoes like this without having to pay resale and that sort of thing. This pair does have the Craft labeling, and we did see that once before. I think it was on a pair this year, but that pair was more of like a tan or an off-white color. And I really like that pair as well, but I definitely prefer this green pair to the previous Craft release of the 4s. One thing right off the bat that I'm not crazy about is instead of the netting on the side panels and then on the base of the tongue, we just get these squares that are kind of pressed into that green suede. And I like that they tried something different, but I definitely prefer the standard netting that we have on retro Jordan 4s. If they would have put some black netting on these shoes in the regular areas like they do, I think that would have changed the whole look of these shoes, and I think at that point, maybe a lot more people would have liked them. And although I already saw these in person, I really didn't spend that much time looking at the materials and that sort of thing, but I am very happy to find out that the nubuck on the base of here seems like a really nice material, and all these overlays of suede seem like it's a really nice material as well. Looking at the outsole, we have a standard Jordan 4 tread pattern. We've got some herringbone traction going all different ways, and we've got black, gray, and then I guess that's the pale vanilla color. And then up at the front, we have some of those stars like we're used to getting in the gray color. At the midfoot of the outsole, it looks like this is like a Summit white. It's not a bright white, it's just got a little tint to it. But then you have that pale vanilla Jumpman in there. I think it's a nice looking outsole, definitely a classic tread pattern that takes me back. Then as we come up to the midsole area, we've got some black rubber that kind of wraps up from the outsole. We've got some areas of painted foam, and again, that looks like it's in a Summit white, but that's all surrounding that visible air unit in the heel. And I like that it's not a bright white. I think with these dark, rich greens and black, I think that it looks really nice in this Summit white color. But the paint all looks pretty clean. You can see some of the brush strokes on it, but the air bubble is crystal clear. and I really just think these came out well. Seems like the sun is moving like crazy, so I'm constantly moving so that the shoe isn't in the shade. But anyhow, for the base, we've got this really nice green nubuck. All these different shades of green really remind me of camouflage, and I like it. I like these colors, and I think this is a great time of year to get these colors. The one thing I will say is, with this nubuck being such a nice material, such good quality and everything, I would definitely spray these with some Crep before I started wearing them, because a lot of times you never know during the fall and the winter whenever you're going to have some slush and muck on the ground. So I would definitely treat these before I would wear them out into the bad weather. But this darker green is all a nice nubuck, and then you have a lot of different areas of suede overlays, and that's in a different shade of green, but I think it looks really nice. Like I said earlier, these areas where we typically have the netting and the cage on the side and then the base of the tongue, instead of getting that netting, we just get some suede, and it's got all the little squares kind of pressed into it. And it's a different look. I like that they tried to give us something different, but I do think that the classic looking netting on Jordan 4s looks better than this. It looks like the top of the tongue is some fuzzy green suede, and then we have a black tag with that pale vanilla Jumpman, and then that classic Flight font on the top there. The laces that they gave us are that same shade of green, so they match the shoe really well. I would have liked to see some other lace options. I think black laces would probably look really good in these, maybe even some sail. I might actually mess around with the laces a little bit. Another thing that's unique about this pair is these basketball net areas for the eyelets are a little bit transparent. Like, it's a little bit opaque. I don't know if you can see that because they're laying right up against the shoe, but it's like a foggy transparent material, so it's not a jet black, and I think that's a really neat look. Here at the top, this is actually a leather, and it has that crackle effect that we've been seeing on different pairs lately, and it looks really neat. And again, it's just another texture, and I love getting all kinds of different textures and materials on here, so I really like that as well. The heel tab is more that translucent material that we have for the basketball nets that are part of the lacing system, and there you can probably see at the top that the sun does shine through there. I think that's a really neat effect. I think that's pretty cool looking. Then we also have a pale vanilla Jumpman there, which is just that light yellow color. On the back of the tongue, we have that Air Jordan upside down like we're used to seeing on 4s. And it looks like our sock liner and our insole is black, and it's got a light yellow Jumpman down there on the insole as well. Alright, so that was a pretty quick look at these. I've had to keep moving so that I can keep them in the sunshine. Hopefully you were able to get a good look at these textures and the colors. I really like them. I like that they're unique. They're not your standard Jordan 4, but I'm a fan of that because I have a ton of 4s in my collection. Let me know what you all think about these. Let me know if you grabbed a pair or if you passed. Either way, I appreciate you watching, and I will catch you on the next one. I'm out.